I'm still shocked that a 17 or a 19-year-old kid wrote that shit. I'm like my grown ass man. Like, you know, I'm reading, I'm listening to this shit, and I'm just I'm getting like these lines like touch me, and I'm like, this is a little fucking kid writing this shit. Like, it's mind blowing to me.
Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony, a.k.a. the CEO, a.k.a. the Top Gun, the one who signs the checks, the one who writes the checks, the one who motherfucking cashes the checks. That's your boy, me, a.k.a. Celtics boy, a.k.a. we going to the finals. We won the finals. We're doing all of that. I'm calling it out early.
You lost last night.
What happened?
You lost last night.
We're going to talk about yesterday.
Also, I love the imagery of you writing the check, signing it, and then taking it to the check cashing spot for us, and you're just delivering us cash.
We got some of my nearest and dearest in the building. Got my dog Doe, a.k.a.
Yo.
Don't cut off when I do the AKs, though.
Yo, DJ Doey Fresh in here. You already know what time it is.
Man wants the intros
You
so
never
bad.
call me by my DJ name.
I was going to this time,
I didn't think
but
so.
you ruined it.
Okay.
AKA the rude boy. AKA he wants to do everything. AKA DJ Doughboy. AKA DJ Doey Fresh.
There you go.
All right?
Doey's like a little Renaissance man. He wants to do it all.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
They're actually pretty fucking useful. Also in the building, got my dog Mateo, AKA Editor-in-Chief.
I think I'm backup editor in chief.
Don't worry, I got a spicy one. AKA YouTube, AKA Green Thumb, Red Thumb, Purple Thumb, all thumbs.
You can't call me beardy face or whatever anymore. I shaved it down, dude.
Yeah, no.
You look good.
Thanks, bud.
Good look.
Also in the building, I got my dog Pucho, AKA Master Editor, AKA the Bald One, AKA not Top Gun.
Not Top Gun.
I'm
He is
Top
Top
Gun.
Gun.
I'm Top Gun.
So wait, who is he in Top Gun?
I'm Maverick, motherfucker.
Damn.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'm kicking ass. Tony could be Iceman. Technically, Iceman was the best pilot, so I'll give him that. He actually was the
just
one who
the
passed
star.
in the Top Gun program. So
You're just the
he
star.
could get a little dub, but I'm Tom Cruise and you're fucking. Who's the what the fuck was the guy? He's from The Saint. He was in Heat.
Val Kilmer.
Val fucking
yeah.
Kilmer.
How did I forget that?
He's Batman.
Yeah.
I want to be Goose, but I don't want to be Goose from Top Gun. I want to be Goose from Mad Max.
That's actually a
Mad
good.
Max. Ew.
Yeah.
What you mean? Ew.
That was the superior Goose
A goose. I
Mad
don't
Max.
like
He
the
didn't
goose
fucking
talk.
crush his head and die.
until he crashed and died. Like that whole thing.
But
Also,
just got back from DR.
ooh, wait, hold on. Relax.
I did. I just got back from DR. Yo, I want to say this. All right.
All right, go ahead.
My mom, she hit up this like mobile fucking foot lady. She came and hooked a brother up with a pedicure at the crib. Yo, the shit was crazy. All right. You know, I'm a man. All right. So brother got some calluses on his foot. This woman looked at my feet and was like, "Boy, I know. I'm gonna have to whip out the knife." I'm like, "What?"
The knife.
Yo, why she took out? She opened up, took out a razor blade, bro, and just started destroying my feet. Yo, she took every little bit of Parmesan right off this foot. My feet are smooth as a baby's bottom, yo. I've never gotten the razor blade treatment. It was different. It was different. So add razor blade pooch to the titles, right?
AKA Razor Blade Pooch. Damn, that's crazy. You got fresh
That's
ass
a
feet.
pretty good one.
I think
yeah.
I'm about to go and seek that now for myself now because I feel like I'm missing out.
Took
I don't
10
know how
years
you
off your
search for
feet,
this
dude.
service, but
Yeah.
Mobile service. Also, we got a special guest in the building. If you already haven't noticed, we got a friend of the show, of the pod. Retro Fox is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
AKA, oh yeah, he's got AKAs, ladies and gentlemen. Certified Cat Whisperer. AKA Gearhead himself,
Yo, facts.
aka Fox Gabbana Productions. Hit it with the
Yes, sir.
damn. I gave you everything.
You could
Also,
have just AKA'd on all the various names he's had on Twitter.
would've taken the entire thing. Yeah, I could have done that.
I'm a very indecisive individual, so
It's all right, man. You can change your mind anytime you want, man. You can change your
oh,
mind
see, I like
anytime.
that. Yeah, that's good life advice.
I have the best advice for everybody. They just don't want to ask.
Know about all that. Questionable at best.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got Retro Fox in the building. He is a music producer and seducer. Nah, I'm joking. But he is a music producer at Fox Cabanas Productions. Also, he likes to turn wrenches, works on cars. Man knows his thing around the engine.
Yes.
So, ladies, if you ever broken down on the side of the road, hit him up on Twitter. He'll gladly drive by and help you out.
I don't know if that's a service he's actually offering.
That's crazy.
Think I'll put his socials up, his email, and all that. Just send him a link. So, Fox, man, give us a little bit of background history on you, man. How'd you get into the music business and all that?
Good question, man. Honestly, it all started off maybe back in like 97 or so like that. Some program called Hip Hop EJ started off with that. My mom got me my first computer, Fruity Loops. And then I used to be so dedicated to trying to make like good music on that my early PlayStation consoles and stuff like that, I used to just launch controllers. Like I was like Thor when it comes down to just throwing them. It was crazy. And my mom used to come in there all the time and she used to be like, boy, you better stop and all this good stuff. She's like, you're just gonna get it. You just gotta like chill out and practice, because she was tired of rebuying them. But second of all, it's like, I'm in there raging out and, black moms ain't having that. But I practice and practice and practice. And then stuff just started coming together like really well. And then like my school used to take my beats and we used to have like music that played before, to let you know that you were late for class. And we used to have that playing all the time and everybody loved it.
No way. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. But, me being an artist, like, I don't like blowing smoke up. Can we cuss one?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
curse all
yeah,
you want.
yeah.
Okay. I don't like blowing smoke up my ass, but at the same time, it's like, I'm always humble. And, everybody's seen something in it, but I didn't necessarily see because I'm just making them. But at the same time, as time went on, I started doing music for, like, actual artists, like them franchise boys. There's an old Gucci track from a long time ago that I got with, what's his face, Drummer Boy and some other stuff. And then I ended up meeting Doe, and I just continued to keep making music. And it's like, it always shapes like a point in my life to the point of how it sounds. And, when I was in college, that's when it really started taking off. I met Wiz Khalifa and some other people. And, it really just came to fruition. And it's really like my happy place, other than like games, cars. Like I could sit here and make music and just be in heaven. And I've been doing it now for, I want to say, 15 years. Yeah, 15 years.
That's awesome.
It's been quite some time.
I always feel like I can make beats. I always feel like I could have been a fly ass producer, but every time,
And you know what?
every time
Go
they
ahead.
let me, they take the shit away from me. I don't know why. Like I did DJing at Doey's house one time, drunk. I made the best mix. This man hated it. He didn't like it. I don't know.
The best mix.
I let him create some mixes at my house, some abominations on my turntables.
But
how
I
do you,
will say this. Oh, go ahead.
how else do you get good? You got to be bad at something to get good at something. So
It's a fact.
I don't. Yeah.
So how'd you get into
You got to know your lane though. I don't play myself. I never play myself and try to make music on your turntables. Like I knew my position. I was like, that ain't for me.
I don't know how you even start doing anything with those turntables Doe has.
It's
I was
simple. You just-
terrified.
that's it, and then it goes from there.
That is the key. When you face this, like, this setup back here is very minimal now. It used to be a lot more because, now everything can be done through a computer, which is great. But you literally sit in front of that and you have to embrace the humility. That's how you get better, because you're going to hear some stuff and you're like, damn, this sounds like absolute shit. And then you're just going to keep deleting it. And then finally something's going to start coming together and be like, oh, this is going crazy. And, it works from there.
So how'd you go from producing music to being like a gearhead now? Like, how did you get to that transition?
Well, I always loved cars, so you know, Gran Turismo's big part of me. Since the PS1, me and my dad used to play that all the time, and you know, I think just the lust of like seeing people with this type of stuff, and you know me, I grew up on both sides of the spectrum, so we had it really well off when I was a kid, but then like halfway through your childhood, things got real shitty, so really got to understand what being poor looks like as well too, but also having a determination that, you know, as you continue to grow older, like this stuff is just not non-attainable. You can have this stuff too, as long as you put in some work. And I ended up getting my first actual car, which was like a Mustang GT. Loved that thing to death. And it's just been up ever since there. Like I did so much work to that and it was in great condition. And I ended up meeting a lot of other people and seeing their cars and stuff and learning how to, you know, turn a wrench, things that I didn't know back in my stomping grounds when I was growing up. And it's just, it's a great pastime, or I should say a hobby that I'm glad I kind of came to be. But cars are everything. It's kind of sucks that they're going towards this electric stuff, but they got their perks, so I can't really be mad at them.
I love I'm on the electric wave.
Dude, those electric cars are fast as hell.
Exactly, yeah. So that's a good thing.
How'd you score a GT as your first car? Because I drove a fucking Volkswagen Cabriolet. My mother nicknamed that shit the Roach. All right, it was a bad car. It was 2000 something. I was driving a 1994.
It actually wasn't my first car. My first car was a 2002 Saturn SL1. It was like a Civic,
That's
American
what I'm talking
Civic.
about.
Yeah, and it was cool. And I wrote,
You pull names out like Saturn, Mercury, and you're like,
Yeah.
what are these cars? Like they started naming cars after planets.
Yeah, man, that was my first joint. I rode that to the transmission busted, and then when I started working, and I actually was able to get my first like car, the Mustang was the first thing, and it was awesome. It was a GT V8. It was very fast, and it looked good. 2012, I want to say.
The Stang.
Nice. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. That's a like love for music and cars.
Yeah, man.
You found a passion and you're sticking with it. A lot of
You
people
gotta
lose
stay
sight
busy
of
and
that.
stay true.
All the things that make noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right.
He's also one of the busiest gamers I know as well.
That's a gift and a curse though, because my attention span is short on stuff. Like I'll play something and put it to the side and then be like, oh, I never finished it. And while you guys got all these fucking platinums and shit, and I'm jealous, what the hell?
That's pooch. To be clear, that's pooch.
That's pooch. I'm not that type of person. I play games to have fun. I don't play games to stress out for platinum trophy. That shit is.
I need to take your approach.
Yeah, I platinum the games that are like very near and dear to me. Pucho has helped me out in some of those platinums though.
Let me tell you this.
My platinums are all very important to me. They're very personal. So the next game I'm going to platinum is going to be Tunic when that drops in the PS5.
Very nice.
Good choice.
That one needs to
Good
happen.
choice.
Put it like this, Fox.
Cheers to that, guys.
I only platinum, I think, 2 or 3 games. One of them is Rocket League with Pucho. The second one is Division with Pucho and Doughboy. And I think the third one was shit, I don't even think I have a third one.
That Division was fun, by the way. That was a
Division's
good
a good
platinum.
game.
It was fun while it lasted.
That was when we used to play games with Tony.
And
Yeah,
me?
I don't got time for that.
Oh, I never played Division with y'all though.
No, we did Overwatch together. That was fun.
I haven't played Overwatch, and I feel like I'm missing out.
I
The
mean,
ship is kind of sailed.
Okay.
We used to play for nice for about 20 minutes. And then the next like hour or 2 hours of us playing together was just everyone arguing and yelling at each other.
Tony, what the fuck are you doing over there?
Stay on the fucking point. Hold the shield up. Why are you running away? Why are you by yourself? No, it's wild.
It gets very hostile.
Yo, I just had fucking whiskey come up out my nose, bro. My whole shit is on fire right
Oh, I
Oh
bet.
my god.
For a little peek behind the curtain for our viewers here, it's 10:30 my time. It's 11:30 for these boys.
Yes.
But, ladies and gentlemen, on this episode, for this beautiful 5-man group, we're doing the most impactful albums that we've listened to in our life. Each one of us picked an album. We're going to go ahead and start off with our boy Fox, a.k.a. Retro Fox.
You may be jumping the gun.
How? How would I be jumping the gun?
We're doing 5 sections. This section's only 10 minutes long, maybe 12.
Yeah, this is
the section.
What's wrong with this guy?
We're doing 5 albums, 5 sections. It's not an intro and 5
Yeah,
sections.
Oh.
Pay attention. This
For
is why
another
I'm.
peek behind the curtain,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Confusion. So it's a staple. Okay, it's a staple in this podcast. All right? The people be confused.
All the time.
Namely, the 2 guys that are typically at the top.
Never me. I know what's going on.
You be struggling.
This. Anyways, we're gonna start off with retro. Since you are our guest, you get to go first.
All right.
And the album
Well,
you picked was Nas' Illmatic.
Yes.
So
yes.
Go ahead and let us know why and fill us in a little bit.
So, Illmatic, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard this. If you like hip hop, in my opinion, I think it's the best rap album made of all time. But Illmatic, this came out in '94, mind you. So, you know, I'm young. We like Tupac. My mom likes Tupac, and you know, we got a little bit of who else? Digital Underground and stuff going on. But like this in particular, when it came out, my mom had it, and we was listening to it, and you know, we used to drive all over the place, and like when this came on, like you got that New York train or subway train at the beginning of this album, and it just really sets the tone. It sounds like today like an old VHS tape, but it really just sets you in the mood. Like, all right, we're about to go down memory lane or a journey with this that you can't go back to once you put it on wax. And I feel like that's why we never truly got a true follow-up to Illmatic. I mean, It Was Written was next, but it's not Illmatic in a sense. But at the same time, like, as you continue to go through this album, not only is the flow perfect, but at the same time, some of the overall, like, lyrics, like, for instance, we'll go to one that everybody likes, New York State of Mind. That's probably the grittiest track on the album. But at the same time, that dark piano in the background with Nas just consistently dropping metaphorical, deep, complex bars that pretty much people seem to vibe with. And he's, I think, 19 at the time. It's just perfect. And, you know, I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. I remember hearing that when I was younger, and I used to think to myself, like, you know, why do we sleep? And it's like, you know, when you sleep, as I got older, I feel like you miss out on a lot of things and how to progress on certain stuff too. Now, I'm not no walking zombie at the end of the day too, but a word like that really, I should say a phrase like that really sticks out to somebody who's trying to hustle to really get into from point A to point B. And, you know, going past that, and once we get to things like The World Is Yours, for instance, I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So The World Is Yours, probably the most classic track. You hear it on a lot of video games. Dave Mirra Bike BMX.
Yo.
Rest in peace to him.
Yo.
Yeah. Classic game. Used to play the shit out of that when I was around. But, you know, you hear it all over the place because it's true. And the message with that, like, the world is yours. Anybody can do anything that they want. But for someone to like capture that moment and really just place it on wax that you can repeat over and over and over for your own motivational views, it's great. Halftime, just to kind of give you a little bit of break, just to understand, look, you know, don't get it twisted. You can still have fun and still do what you want to do. But I'm kind of getting off track because there's so much that I want to condense within a 10-minute period on here.
No, don't worry about it. Take your time. Talk about what you want to talk about. Like I said, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. So we're going to jump past a couple of tracks on here. So as we continue to talk to this album, One Time for Your Mind, and also It Ain't Hard to Tell. It Ain't Hard to Tell is probably my favorite track on this album. And that's just because this is going to jump back to my original most impactful album, which was Michael Jackson Thriller. Rest in peace one more time to the greatest musician to ever exist. But that song has a sample of Michael Jackson in it. And I was a huge Michael Jackson fan at the end of the day. So I loved how the way that beat was composed. And that beat actually motivated me to start making music because I needed to know how that worked out, but I never knew until later. But at the same time, the overall message of that, the same energy that you get from the actual sample, well, I should say the Michael Jackson sample, is somehow translated into this song, but also Nas's message of, you know, it ain't hard to tell, still translates along with it. It's like they coincide with each other, and it's like perfect artistry to exist in '94, in my opinion, because
it's crazy how young he was, how talented, the writing, the production on this album, how it all came together. It's almost fucking insane how good this album is front to back.
Yeah, dude, it's dope. And
what I found interesting, for another peek behind the curtain, Fox's, because we all chose albums for this topic, right? So we're all gonna go through our own impactful albums. We listened to all the albums, so we're all gonna chime in and stuff. What I thought was interesting was Fox's original choice was Michael Jackson's Thriller, and then he switched it to Illmatic, and then when I was re-listening to Illmatic, I was like, oh shit! Look, this track got the sample for it samples Human Nature from Michael from the Thriller album.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, there's the connection between maybe these two albums for Fox. I thought that was interesting. That I was like, oh look, this was his original choice. He switched it, but there's still some connection between the two. So I thought that was cool.
I enjoyed the hell out of Fox's pick because I'd heard like 2 tracks off that Nas album, right? And I had heard with his original pick, the Thriller album, I'd heard like the hits off there, right? But I'd never listened to that album like front to back or anything. I'm not the biggest Michael Jackson fan. I think he's probably one of the greatest musicians that's ever existed, but he's also not really. I think you can understand how important something is without necessarily being like a huge fan of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But man, I was listening to the Nas album, and I kept getting like these Tribe Called Quest vibes. And then I saw a Q-Tip pop up on that song, and I was like, oh shit, okay. this all makes sense. That it's damn good. It is so good. There's like this he fills space with words so well. Like his flow is just nonstop in some of those songs. It's just the song starts, the song ends, and he is just rapping the entire fucking time. Like it's so good.
Exactly. And you really just nailed that. So a visual, I should say, using your imagination with the words, like that's something that a lot of artists, I feel, even today, don't have. And I think that's what makes this so well. Because even as a kid, you know, when you're a kid, your imagination's running wild with everything. But I felt like I was literally right there with him as I was listening to this album. And you just don't get that anymore. And that's what makes it so impactful to me, you know?
No, yeah. Nas is just a fantastic artist. Like, I always thought he was gonna stop making music and then he drops an album. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely one of those OGs, just like Jay-Z is. You know, them two coming up, having little beef, musical beef and shit, and street beef, I guess. It was like Nas always was like the you know how Batman and Robin, or like a Batman, it's like over like a villain and a superhero, like them two together always collided. But
I don't think Robin was the bad guy.
No. Like I'm trying to say, like there's always like a Joker. Yeah, sorry. Joker. I don't even know why I said Robin.
Gracie's over here fucking butting heads with Bruce Wayne. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
But like I listened to it again, like after you announced it, because I listened to the whole entire Michael Jackson album, and then they told me, hey, he flipped it. He chose Nas Illmatic. I'm like, all right, cool. I like Nas anyway, so I'll listen to it. Listening to that album brought back all those feels, and I'm kind of upset right now because it's like I cannot listen to this Nas Illmatic and then not listen to the next album. So now it's like something I have to go and listen to the next album and then go on from the next album. 'Cause I don't know what it is. Like certain artists, I will just be like, I need more of it now. So now it's like I gotta play. I'm gonna have a Nas track list probably this weekend.
So you're gonna be listening to Magic by next week then.
And what's cool about this too, I know we got to switch segments here, but like with Illmatic, like there's not really a follow up. But me and Doe was talking about this earlier. It was written in certain aspects could be even better than this album, but it just has no ties in between, and that's what's cool about it, you know.
Yeah, I love when a rapper follows up his classic first album with an a classic second album, sophomore album, and I feel like Nas did that with It Was Written. It was like, okay, you saw my first shit, now watch me double that shit. I'm gonna rap about a bullet going backwards. I was like, nah, this is crazy.
Yeah, that shit is,
Yeah, man.
it's like, I'm good. Nah, fucking, I think It Was Written is better than Illmatic, personally. I love both of those albums. Illmatic is my first hip-hop album. So it always had a special place for me. New York State of Mind is probably my favorite hip-hop song of all time. I love Memory Lane. Those are my two favorite tracks off the album. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in Queens, so like growing up, and my family's from Brooklyn. I'm the kid from Queens in the family. My family moved to Queens, so I grew up. I love Nas. My brother was a Jigga fan, so I grew up with that in the house, like listening to Jigga, listening to Nas, having arguments with my brothers and my cousins, and all that type of shit all the time. So I mean, it was one thing I was bummed out about was that 3 of the albums amongst our choices are albums that I already loved. So it was like I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to like kind of step out of the box and like listen to something new. But then again, I was happy as fuck to be re-listening to one of my favorite hip hop albums. So
Well, now I understand why you like Spider-Man so much.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
It's exactly why. Like I said, my cousins lived in Forest Hills for a little while, and I remember going over there and being a little kid, and I'd be like, "Yo, Spider-Man's gonna swing right through this bitch in a second now." I'm gonna see this motherfucker jump out a window, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
I was
part.
a
That's
dumb kid, man.
nah. That's lit, bro. You had like you was just you was fucking innocent. You know what I mean? Like you wasn't. You just saw a superhero that you love and you wish it can form in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Can't.
Now,
You know?
this album definitely has that like a wall of sound for a lot of the songs. All these songs feel just so like full and in your face, and I loved it. Like absolutely. Like I said, I'd only listen to like 1 or 2 tracks
You were
previously
talking,
off this.
the production is by who, Pucho? Like you're saying Guru and Premier helped make these tracks, or
Not Premiere.
No, I forget the one dude. I got to look this up real quick because the dude that made It Ain't Hard to Tell, he still makes music to this day. 1 second here.
but I was
Yeah, I want to say not to give like a spoiler too much or anything.
Wasn't it
This is the
Nasir
kind of-
Jones?
This is the kind of pick that I was expecting from Doey. Doey surprised the hell out of me with his pick on this
Bro,
thing.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
like a classic hip hop album like this is what I was expecting from Doey. So it's cool that we had you on here so we could get the little bit of that classic hip hop, since Doey went with an entirely different direction than what I was expecting.
Okay, Large Professor. That's who it was. Large Professor. A lot of his stuff is dope too. Just regular like discography. Q-Tips on here. We got Pete Rock, which is a legendary producer.
okay, legend.
Yeah, legendary.
Wow.
And,
Holy shit.
I think we said DJ Premier already, but yeah, Nick
No,
Fury.
I didn't know he was
Rockwater.
on there, so it's good to hear that. Yeah.
But yeah, overall with this album, like I'm from the Midwest, and I know most of you guys are from New York in general. But I literally feel like I could be a New York individual and blend right in. Like I know I don't go up there often, but I feel like if I was to move there, I'd just be able to blend right in.
Because you have like this piece of Brooklyn. It's crazy on this
Yeah.
album. It's so authentic. I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
And I think it's that way for a lot of people as well.
Nah, Nas
I love.
is, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Nas is like there's certain artists that make timeless masterpieces that you can just go back and play it front to back and not really skip.
Yeah.
Illmatic and It Was Written are maybe those 2 albums. I don't know, Pucho, you can chime in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you could skip any. I think you could just let it run the whole fucking way and not even skip a song.
Yeah.
To be honest,
What the?
It Was Written
Illmatic?
and Illmatic. You could just play it and not have to skip.
No, there's only 9 songs.
Well,
Even
no,
the first song, I love the opening to Illmatic because the first song has like a snippet of Nas's first ever recording Like he did like a freestyle at it's called Live at the Barbecue, and it's like somebody was just recording them, and they put a snippet of that on the intro song, like kind of just like the intro skit to the album or whatever. And I thought that was cool. Like it's something I never noticed before, to be honest. I've listened to this album like 100 times, and it just now listening to it again, I was like, oh shit, this is from Live at the BBQ, and I went back and play that shit. It's like a 17-year-old Nas just fucking ripping the mic. It's
Really?
That's
yeah,
nuts.
Yeah, it's dope.
You got to think, bro. 17 years old, bro. 18, 19, dropping an album.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that comes out of people when they're in that age in high school, whether it be men or women. Because even me, I was making music. I was expressing myself at that age, 16, 17, 15. That's when I started writing. That's when I started performing music, going to the studio, recording, getting together with friends and just writing over instrumentals. So I feel like it's no matter what anybody is doing, they kind of excel at that thing at those ages, whether it be basketball, football, like all that stuff.
I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think that like even that line that Fox mentioned, that sleep is a cousin of death, right? That is a very young man's mindset. This is a young man's hip hop album. It is
absolutely.
It's fresh and raw and loud, and it's nonstop. It's energetic. It's got this energy that you don't. I don't know that we saw that in like Magic, right? Like Magic's a good album too, but I don't know that it's there's a different level of energy between like a young 19-year-old Nas and like modern day Nas, right?
Yeah, modern day Nas is too cool. Like he's laid back, he's chilled, like all that shit. But it's interesting you say that, because sleep is a cousin of death is probably my favorite phrase in all of hip hop, right? And as a kid, I used to interpret it as literally sleeping is you not doing shit you could be doing, so you're kind of dying in a sense, right? But now, like as I got older, that line means something different. It's something like an old wise man would say, which is like if you sleeping on the thing, sleeping in the metaphorical sense of like not doing, like if you're not doing the things you love or experiencing the things you're doing, then you might as well be dead. You ain't living. Like
I like that.
I'm still shocked that a 17 or a 19-year-old kid wrote that shit. I'm like my grown ass man, like, you know, I'm listening to this shit, and I'm just like I'm getting like these lines like touch me, and I'm like, this is a little fucking kid writing this shit. Like it's mind blowing to me.
The biggest
Have you ever listened to Take K?
No.
You said Take K, the race?
Yeah. That little nigga was rapping his ass off. I was like, yo, this kid is 15 on the run from the law, saying some of the most wild shit I've ever heard. So I understand that feeling. Like, yo, this kid is so young, rapping about shit that's way beyond his age.
You know what this album kind of reminds me of? Well, okay, so when you get artists like this, of course, you only get probably a handful within a generation. But like you got Nas back when we were growing up. I would say as of current, I would say Kendrick and the J. Cole would be like the J Nas of like it's past generation now.
Take a shot to this comment right here. Take a shot.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But Kendrick's early work reminds me of Nas so much because it was so fucking deep at the time, and it went over everybody's heads because he didn't have the popularity at the time. But then once he broke out and everybody started listening to shit like Section 80, everybody's like, damn, this nigga's spitting, you know?
Yes.
And just same with J. Cole. It took him Forest Hill Drive for everybody to really like hop on and be like, yo, J. Cole's like ill, you know? It's amazing. It really is.
I just died.
Yeah, I fucking finished the one bottle of whiskey because I had like 2-3 fingers left, and then I whipped out the other one, and I don't know, the shit like aged in the bottle. This shit hit very different. I was like, I don't like it.
You know what it is? You didn't play your bottle opening song.
Damn.
Oh, there's a bottle opening song.
Nah, the bottle's already open.
Oh,
I just
man,
killed
I need
the
to hear
old
that.
bottle. It's been sitting there for weeks, like just that full in the big, you know.
But nah, man, yeah, Nas Illmatic definitely a top album. For sure.
It's a good pick.
That's
It's
a real
pick.
good pick.
I give the album a thumbs up.
2 thumbs.
Nah, I'm binary, baby.
Oh,
We up or
sorry.
down?
I apologize. Nah, I definitely give that album top 10 thumbs.
Thank you.
Very good pick.